So guys, patch 8.4 is finally here. It's off the PBE, it's hit the live servers, and there has been some massive changes. And if you play an AP mid laner, an AP mage, then you're probably sitting at home going, what in the world do I buy now? Everything has changed. Everything has changed, guys. And some things have changed for the better. So, in this video, I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of patch 8.4 completely in relation to the mid lane. So sit back, relax, and take in the info. So guys, let's start off by talking about Morello's. It was the go-to item for pretty much every mid laner. If you had AP, if you had mana, you more than likely rushed a Morello's. It had CDR, it had Grievous Wounds, it had AP. Yeah, its build path included a Lost Chapter, so you got the early sustain. It was a superb buy, and it still is, but the build path has completely changed. The old recipe used to be Lost Chapter, Fiendish Codex, an Amplifying Tome, but now it's Oblivion Orb and a Blasting Wand. An Oblivion Orb, guys, is kind of like a new Haunting Guise. Haunting Guise has been completely revamped as well, but we'll eventually get to that. So, an Oblivion Orb completely consists of a Ruby Crystal and an Amplifying Tome, just like a Haunting Guise would. And its stats consist of 25 ability power, 200 health, and 15 magic penetration. A pretty good standard item. So with the new recipe in mind, guys, it means new stats have hit Morello's. The new stats consist of 80 ability power, 300 health, and a unique passive called Touch of Death, which is coming from the Oblivion Orb. This is the 15 magic penetration. And as well as that, Morello still has its Grievous Wounds, but Grievous Wounds has changed a little bit. Previously, Grievous Wounds would only proc on enemies who were 35% health or below, but now Grievous Wounds hits with every single magic damage dealt. So every time you deal magic damage, Grievous Wounds is going to hit them and proccing them no matter what their health is. Whether it's 100%, 35%, it doesn't matter. Grievous Wounds is going to apply. But the only difference is it's only going to last for 3 seconds, whereas before it used to last for 8. I don't know if this is a buff or not. I would say so, because you're going to be potentially proccing it consistently over and over and over again with your magic damage and your skill shots and so on. So I think this is going to make Morello's a go-to item. Maybe not right away, but maybe a second buy in most cases, because obviously it doesn't have the Lost Chapter anymore for the mana regen. But in regards to ability power, in regards to penetration and the Grievous Wounds, it's going to be a pretty damn strong item, guys. It's going to be a pretty damn strong item. So guys, moving on to my favourite item in the game over the last 2 seasons, that is Liandry's Torment. Liandry's has been changed just as much as Morello's has in patch 8.4, but the build path remains the same. You get a Haunting Guise and a Blasting Wand, that is a Ruby Crystal, an Amplifying Tome and a Blasting Wand. But what they have done, the biggest change they've done to Liandry's, is they've taken away the magic penetration. Obviously they've taken this penetration, they've given it to the Morello's through the orb. But what they've replaced the penetration with in Liandry's and the Haunting Guise is a unique passive, which is pretty cool. I like the thinking behind it. It's a unique passive called Madness. Madness increases your damage by 2% for each second you're in combat with champions, up to a maximum of 10%. So within 5 seconds, you're going to be doing 10% extra damage. This is going to be fantastic against top laners and fantastic for champions who are constantly in team fights rather than, say, LeBlanc's Echoes who are engaging, disengaging, nuking people down. It's going to be great for Mal's, it's going to be great for Brand, it's going to be great for Heimer. I like the thinking behind this item. But moving on to what makes Liandry so special, and that is the burn. The burn has been changed in such a way that it's going to make it a pretty great item for any AP top laner, and I'm going to explain why. Previously, the burn used to be current health, but now the burn states dealing spell damage applies a damage over time effect that deals bonus magic damage equal to 1% of the target's maximum health per second for 3 seconds, and this is doubled to 2% if they're slowed or immobilized. Look what it says, guys. Maximum health, no longer current. So if someone has 3000 health, it's going to be 1% of the 3000 health, not their current health pool. So say they had 1000 out of 3000, it used to be that 1% of that 1000. Now it's going to be the maximum health. This is going to be superb. This combined with O'Reilly's, I think, could be an absolute force to be reckoned with, guys. you get the 2% increased damage for 5 seconds, you get the burn, you get the extra burn because obviously they're completely slowed. It's going to be crazy. Combine this with, say, a Morello's where you get the magic penetration. You're going to hopefully be pumping out some serious damage in teamfights, especially against tanks. And now guys, we'll talk about Lost Chapter. Lost Chapter is the go-to item for any first back. Usually people used to save up for a Lost Chapter, recall, get it, and then work on their Morellos. No longer is that the case. It is still the perfect go-to item for sustain and mana because obviously upon leveling up, you get 20% of your maximum mana back over 3 seconds, which is superb, and obviously you get the flat 300 mana and the 25 ability power. It is amazing. What they've added on to make it even better is a 10% extra cooldown reduction, a unique passive called Haste. And what they've done as well, this obviously does no longer build Morellos. This builds into Archangel Staff, Ludens, Hextech. This gives mid laners a great variety and scope of build paths. No longer is it just Lost Chapter, Morellos, done. You can kinda get it and base what you're going to go next on either who you're against, what you're playing, what they start building. You can inadvertently change your build path without sort of buying a Lost Chapter and going, right, well, I have a Lost Chapter, so it looks like it's Morellos next. Whenever you get a Lost Chapter, your opposing mid laner has no idea what you're going to build next. They can have a good idea, but there's 3 potential items that you can build. That being said, I think we're going to see a lot of Ludens echoes now in the mid lane, guys. No longer is Ludens going to be a kind of fun item where you get true damage and movement speed, where it doesn't really play into anyone's kit. It's now going to be a pretty good standard first item for any mid laner. You're going to have the Haste, which is the 10% cooldown reduction, the 90 AP, the 10% CDR, the 500 mana. You're also going to have the original true damage that it used to have at 100 charges. The next instance of ability damage you deal will expand all charges to deal 100 plus 10% AP bonus damage. It's going to be a pretty good poking down item, which any mid laner is going to enjoy having. This, followed by a Morellos, followed by Liandry's, is going to maximize the amount of poke damage, sustain damage. It is going to be an absolute fiesta. So you're more than likely going to see Ludens being taken over the other 2. But in other scenarios, you can definitely use Archangels and you can definitely use Hextech GLP. It's just in regards to most mid lane mages kits, this probably plays the best. So next guys, we'll talk about the new items. Well, one new item and an old school item. The new item is called Spellbinder, and its build path consists of an Aether Wisp, a Needlessly Large Rod, and 700 gold. This is kind of the new movement speed item now that Ludens has lost its movement speed. So the item consists of 100 ability power, 10% movement speed, and a really cool passive. The passive is nearby allied and enemy spellcasts charge Spellbinder up to a cap of 100 max. And whenever you hit 100, well, you can kind of use it at any moment, but you get the maximum amount at 100. You can activate it and you gain 30% decay movement speed and 100 ability power for 4 seconds based on charges spent. This is 1 minute cooldown. So you're going to get 30% movement speed and 100 ability power. That's at 100 charges. But you can use this at any time to in turn gain a smaller percentage of movement speed and a smaller percentage of ability power. And I think it's a really fun item. It's relatively cheap. It could be used for wander and movement supports. It could be used in the mid lane. I think it's going to bring a lot more variety to just crazy build paths and just maybe make things not as meta anymore. I like it. I really like this. And the old school item that's been brought back is Twin Shadows. I used to love Twin Shadows, guys. The spooky ghosts. It was superb. The build path is Fiendish Codex, Aether Wisp, and 650 gold, making the total cost 2.4k. And what you get from this, the item consists of 60 AP, 7% movement speed, with a CDR of 10%, with obviously the unique active being the ghosts. The ghosts would hunt people down. Whenever they touch them, they will show them in regards to vision, and they will slow them for 40%. This is actually so cool, and I used to really enjoy this whenever you're playing off-meta supports, and I think this could kind of work really well with Glacial Augment, with it being a little bit stronger now. So again, I'm a fan of what they've done with Twin Shadows and a fan of what they've done with Spellbinder. You could even see some mid laners picking this up for hunting down some early kills. And that, guys, pretty much concludes the biggest changes in the mid lane. But before I go, there are a few honourable mentions. Void Staff has been nerfed from 80 to 70 AP. Rabadon's has been buffed. It now has 40% increased ability power instead of 35%. And its total cost has been reduced by 200 gold. Also, the build path has changed to just 2 nudity large rods and 1.1k gold. Riley's also has had a little bit of a buff. It's gained 10 AP from 75 to 85, and I think this is a pretty good tweak. Nothing's too strong, nothing's too weak. I think all around Riot has done a really good job this patch in regards to helping mid laners become a lot more apparent and a lot more helpful in regards to endgame. Previously, it was just a bot lane meta, but hopefully these changes will really bring AP mid laners back into the mix. And I'm so excited about it, guys. I'm so excited. And in regards to build path, I'm thinking you're going to see a lot of people going Ludens into Morellos, into Liandrys, into Rileys, into Azania or Rabadons, depending on who they're against, what the scenario is. But I think you're probably going to see a lot of people going Ludens, Morellos, Liandrys. That's what I'm thinking, guys. And as always, bros, if you enjoyed the video and you learned something this time around, slap a like on it below. It really helps me out. But until next time, bros, take it easy, peace out, and good luck in patch 8.4.